Hi, and welcome back to DrZali'sDesk. Oh, here I go again. Hi. Welcome to Dr. Zali's desk, or 15 minutes at Dr. ZaliO'Dea's desk. Oh, dear me. What a wonderful time we're having already. Today we're going to introduce or reintroduce Christa from the United States of America in part 2 of her call, of our chats together. So Christa, I'm going to talk to you about this right now, and I'm going to bring you onto stage. Oh, hang on, and something's happening here. Failed to enter whiteboard. I don't know. Anyway, we're coming back to you, and hopefully it's working. Christa, welcome.
I'm back. Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. Oh, dear me. This technology stuff, it was flashing a yellow colour and I didn't know what the yellow colour was, so I went back down to seeing whether or not something was happening, and I don't know, the webcam is doing a good job. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time again. Sure. And last time we talked about you living with third nerve palsy, how you had a migraine for a few days and you went to your surgeon. No, remind me again, please. I'm just getting it a little bit muddy.
I started at one hospital where they diagnosed it as a migraine, even though they saw the brain tumor on an MRI. Went to my eye doctor who said, yeah, it looks like you're showing signs of third nerve palsy. Go down and see a specialist at one of the teaching hospitals in the city, who referred me to my neurosurgeon, who said, yep, it's time to get that brain tumor out. And subsequently clipped the nerve and caused the third nerve palsy.
Permanent third nerve palsy.
Permanent. We didn't know at the time, but yeah.
So what information were you given at the time of diagnosis?
Nothing. Really. They had anticipated, they were hoping that it was going to be something that reversed itself. But unfortunately it didn't. So with follow-up visits, they kept saying, well, maybe. And 7 years later, here I am still waiting.
So that would have been hard with the, I would think, maybe. So was that giving you, how did you feel about that without me trying to spoon feed things into what I think you feel?
Honestly, I think I would have rather him said, okay, this is what it is, so that I could have reached that grief phase a little bit sooner. But it happened. It took 6 months for me to realize that this was something permanent, but I'm wondering what would have happened had I realized it a little bit earlier.
Well,
not sure if the reaction would have been different. Yeah.
What do you think it would have done?
I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have reacted knowing sooner. I kind of feel like I needed to do it at my own pace. I think it made a difference.
So what information would you have liked to have been given?
Well, the actual diagnosis of it being permanent. I would have liked to have known that. I would have liked to have had a support group in my area, but there aren't any. That's how I met you online on social media. Ways to cope with it, but I did go to the Association for the Blind, and they told me I wasn't blind enough to get services.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Monocular vision or having third nerve palsy is exactly the same. I went there thinking that there should be services too, but we don't fall into their categories, so there's no support.
Right. And even a disability, I don't know how it works in Australia with disability. Like, I don't consider myself disabled. I have a disability, or I have a different ability, is how I like to call it. But I'm not disabled enough to get any type of compensation as far as if I wasn't working.
That's
So,
right.
and you go for a job interview, they're looking at you and making assumptions ahead of time. So getting over that is challenging. Is that my own perception? Maybe it's not really reality, but
no, that's people living with facial disfigurement are 5 times less likely to gain employment.
Well, I'm so glad that I found the company I'm with, because they actually heard that I was actually fired from my job when I went in to have brain surgery. And when my current employer found out about it, they're like, nope, you're coming over here. We're gonna work with you. So that I was really, I was really thrilled that I found a company that was willing to bring me in, even though I had a different ability. So there was no support as far, like family support, friends support, but as far as how do I navigate this new life, there was no support.
No. And were you given? Did they actually discuss, or when you were having those chats with the neurosurgeon and the ophthalmologists and all the other medical personnel, was your social and emotional well-being ever brought up or discussed with them?
Yeah.
Or did they? Pardon?
Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, they kept to the medical, the physical, not necessarily the mental and emotional. I didn't see that.
So they didn't have any support groups for you. They didn't have any wow, this might be tough to come to terms with.
No, isn't that sad? But there wasn't.
And it is sad. So in Australia, we don't get that. Rarely do we get that. Your experience is that you didn't get it. Yet you're telling me that, well, from our last one, I'm just recalling this information. You had, they gave you, they didn't sit you down and say, well, we'll give it a good burl for 6 months. Between 3 to 6 months is when the nerves would regenerate, if they were going to regenerate. But after that time frame, if things don't happen in that time frame or a little bit longer, this will be a permanent situation in your life. They didn't actually have that conversation. They just led you on to what?
Right. Let's see what happens, and good luck.
Yeah. And so is it still that's what's happened? Let's see what happens and good luck 7 years later?
Well, no, we've all come to terms with it at this point.
Okay. But you mentioned that I said about whether or not you'd reached your point of, yes, I'm here kind of thing, like the climbing Mount Everest, and you're reaching your point in your peak kind of thing, and you're like, yes, I've accepted that I'm differently abled. Yes, I've accepted that I'm this. But you said no, it's an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing journey. That's what you said, and I agree with you.
Still is.
So,
It's not. I'm never gonna feel like whole again.
okay.
Because I know what it was like to have two eyes, that depth perception, being able to see around me. You don't realize that you go to a restaurant. This is interesting. I go to a restaurant, and if a waiter comes up on this side of me, I get scared.
Yeah.
So those are some things, now that I'm talking a little bit more, I'm recalling a couple of the things that I do. I make sure that my eye is against the wall when I'm in a restaurant, and then everybody's is to my right.
Yes.
So my computer desk, I sit on the left, everything's over here because I can't see going this way. So you make adjustments. But yeah, waiters are scary.
Yes. Or I was at one specific space, right? And I was at kindergarten picking up a child, and I don't know why my mother was there, but my mother was on the other side of the glass, right? And I am yelling at her what the PIN number is for her to put it in so she could get out or come in, right? And so I'm yelling at, and saying it's this. Meanwhile, I have a mother on my right side. Get it? I didn't see her, and I didn't see the automatic green presser thing that actually just opens up the doors anyway.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see the presser thing that would open up the door so my mum could come in. And this woman,
wow.
she just went and pushed the button, and I turned around and I was like, oh, and I think I flushed red because she must have been thinking, what on earth is she doing, kind of thing. This is ridiculous. And I quite literally didn't see the green exit, push here for exit, or and I didn't see anything like that. So people, I just say to people now, oh, if you're on my right side, can you please touch me? Because I won't be able to see you unless I screw my head that way enough.
Exactly.
So yes. Yeah. So
oh, that's funny.
it is funny.
Yeah.
You have to be in the know, kind of thing, to be able to understand that completely, I think. So the information you would have liked to have been given, what was that again that you said? You'd like to have been given?
I think it would have been nice to have been told it would have been something that it would be permanent. But the process that I took to get there, I think served me well. So I don't know if knowing ahead of time would have, yes, it would have got me to that grief stage a little bit earlier, but would I have been able to process it? Because I had to learn to live with it those 6 months. And I did some pretty amazing things in those 6 months.
Tell me
learned
one.
how to drive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got a new job. Made lots of friends because I'm winking at everybody. So I think that at 6 months, I'm like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I don't have the life that I had before, but I'm doing it.
And there was no social and emotional support because you were saying that the medical profession were just looking at the physical, not the psychological or psychosocial aspects. And we've chatted about a few of our conversation of our experiences, our funny experiences that are ongoing. They don't stop just because we were able to position ourselves better, and we've learnt about positioning ourselves. It really doesn't stop. It doesn't let up. We going out to the if I'm going out to the supermarket today, the same thing will happen. I'll have to make accommodations for people on my right side, or we haven't even stopped to think about staring or anything like that. But Is there anything else that you would like to talk about in relation to being diagnosed, Christa, before we finish off today?
No, I think, well, yeah, I would have liked things to have gone smoothly. I would have liked to have known from the get-go that, hey, this is something that is going to be permanent. But other than the doctors looking at the whole person instead of just this area right here, that's what I would like to have changed. Yeah.
So this is your take home. What would you like to say if you were able to say? I know we haven't talked about this bit, but I'm just thinking, what would you like to say to the medical professionals if they were listening?
Well, look at the whole person and understand that, yeah, whatever happens to them, they have to go home with, and they have to be able to survive. And physically, they may be well, but emotionally and mentally, like, I'm glad I was mentally okay. Emotionally a little bit different, but it would be nice to have a support system. I did have a nurse that would call from my insurance company just to make sure that I was healing well, but they weren't really talking to me about, hey, how are you doing with coping with the emotional ramifications of your surgery. So that's what I would really like for them to focus on. Focus on the whole person.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I've got our website here at www.karibuanawim.com for anyone who has listened to our conversation today and might have been triggered by some of what we've said today. Please practice some self-care and know that it's okay not to be okay sometimes, and acknowledge that it's okay. Don't touch the mic. That's okay. It's not okay. It's okay to be not okay at times. And if you would like some more information or support, this is what I do for a living. And you can visit our website, or you can email us or connect with us here at inquiries with an INQUIRIES at karibuanawim.com. Once again, thank you very much, Christa, for coming on today and sharing your experiences living with third nerve palsy. And is there any last words that you would like to say before we go?
No, I'm just so thankful that you have started the third nerve palsy group support, so that people can ask questions that they don't have the answers to.
Thank you very much for your time. And
okay, see you later.
Bye.